Welcome to Between the Covers. Welcome to Between the Covers, the show for readers and writers and lovers of books. I'm Stephanie Larkin, an author, a book developer, and publisher at Red Penguin Books. We're a publishing company for authors of all types and genres. So whether you have a book that's all ready to go, a manuscript in your hand, or maybe just a book that's been in your head for the past decade, just visit us at redpenguinbooks.com and unleash your inner author. I am so thrilled tonight to be joined by two authors that did manage to unleash themselves. And we have quite the show. Linda, could you pass me one of your books here too? So we have Linda Fostek and Georgie-Ann Getton-McKoy, and we are the shit show. You can see if we're going to find two authors with books like this, and they coordinate too. I love that. So I had to put you on together. I couldn't put you on with like some traumatic memoir of somebody, you know, pouring out their heart about something. No. That was not going to work. In fact, many times we just end up with three random authors, but when I saw it was the two of you, and I was like, yeah, we can't put somebody else. We'll just stop there. But I do want to welcome you and give you a Between the Covers membership card because we're actually an on-the-air book club as well as being a show.
Thank you.
And if you would like to join the Between the Covers Club, please go visit us at betweenthecoverstv.com. And if you sign up, you'll be getting all sorts of, information about our show. You'll know who's coming up next. But we also have free books and Kindle downloads and all sorts of recommendations and things so that you can get reading and enjoying Between the Covers with us. So you two are honorary members now. And by the way, if you sign up, you can also stop by any Wednesday night and get a free glass of wine. That's always a good thing. And yes, it does look like it's in a little mini martini glass. But you know, today is National Martini Day. Wow. Oh. I should have made a picture of martinis. We're drinking wine, but it's in a mini martini glass. So it's kind of like that National Martini Day kind of thing. Before we get started on all of our stuff, we do have a trivia question for our audience. Now, our audience was asleep last week. I don't know. They didn't answer it correctly. Nobody called. We always say if somebody calls in with the right answer, they will get a free book. So maybe they really want a shitty book this week, so they'll call in. So let's take a look at our trivia question for the week. And if you know the answer, please call us at 516-945-9099. And our question is, what is a librocubicularist? I didn't know either, so I gave it multiple choice there. What is a librocubicularist? And is it someone who reads as they eat? Someone who quotes random book trivia, someone who reads in bed, or someone who carries books wherever they go? Well, please call us. You have a 25% chance of getting this right, even if you have no idea what a librocubicularist is. And if you know, Linda has that look on her face like, no, I had no idea either. That's a great word, though.
I love the word.
I'm going to drop that into conversation from now on. I'll be like, hey, you know that woman? She's a librocubicularist, you know? And I won't tell you right now what it is. Oh. But I hope that both of you are librocubicularists.
I hope I am too.
I hope so too.
If it's a good thing, I hope
I mean, one of the above, I'm all of the above.
So when you are librocubicularing, what do you like to read? Do you have any recommendations for our viewers?
I love to read nonfiction books. One of my most recent reads is Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh my God.
And
he actually wrote a book called I would read it just on the title.
Yes, and it was just a spark of interest. I saw it, while I was scrolling along. I was like, this sounds like a fun book. It wasn't too long. Because again, for people in a hurry.
I like that. Yes, people
so
in a hurry.
I can get this done.
Pages,
Yeah.
Big print.
And it was just mind-blowing.
Really?
It made me realize how small I am and unimportant compared to this big magical universe that we have. And
I know. I read your book. I think you're slaying it, man. So
definitely, I would definitely recommend that book. And just another one would be Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes, because it's always time to say yes to more things that bring you joy.
I love that. You know what I love about that title and about the book by Shonda Rhimes is that we're constantly saying just say no. Mm-hmm. And I get that. I mean, we need to say no to a lot of things. But we do need to say yes also.
Yes.
And I think that people say one of my downfalls in life is I say yes to everything.
I have that same problem.
Do you really? I do. I say yes, and even my assistants in the office will be like, "Can't you say no to anything?" And I admit I say, but I'm glad. If I'm going to have a problem, I'd rather my problem was saying yes too much than saying no. You say yes a lot. Look at you.
I say
You run
yes
like
a
everything
lot,
under
and
the sun.
actually one of my favorite books too is Yes Energy by Laurel Langmeyer.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Oh, it's really good.
Yes, energy.
It's about say yes and then figure it out.
I like that.
Ooh, that's my modus operandi too.
Yes, that's that's
I
actually
act
an
first
awesome
and think
book.
second, always.
And probably the other two books that are really very, very dear to me. One is called The One Philosophy by Nancy Matthews. It's a little book about really the way you want to be treated. You treat everybody else the same way. Whether they are the homeless person on the street, the cashier behind the register, the CEO that you meet, the person, we all get so excited. I'm going to meet the one, I'm going to meet, this guy's really going to make a difference in my life. If you treat every single person with that same enthusiasm, amazing things happen.
Yes.
And, it's a
Absolutely.
little tiny book, but it's such a powerful, powerful message.
I wish that people would just treat everyone as well as they'd probably treat their dog. I mean, honestly.
There you go.
That sounds like an insult, but not for nothing. If you come to my house, you will find out that my dog is like a deity. We don't even let her walk. We don't treat anyone as well as we treat.
So many people do that. Yep.
Yeah.
The dogs they're getting,
That's it.
mutual funds. They're getting it.
Right? Right? We're practically paying for college for this dog.
Very true.
And but I like that. Treat everyone.
Yeah, and it's some simple premises like never gossip, like listen more.
Oh, two
Talk
ears and
less.
one mouth.
Yeah. And really stating what it is that you want, and being forward about that. There's
I
so
love
many
that.
different aspects.
Okay,
of
but
being
we're
the
going to
one.
forget about that because you're on a talk show for the next hour, and I want you talking. Okay.
Okay.
So within reason. My book recommendation for the week, which you just told me is at #1 on Amazon right now?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Where the Crawdads Sing. I am dying to read this, and I have till tomorrow to read this because I have to be at a book club tomorrow about this. I just ordered it, and everyone in my house was like, "Oh, I want to read it." I said, "Me first." So I heard it's fabulous. I can't wait, and I guess by tomorrow I'll tell you all about it. By next week, I better know something. We'll be right back. We're just going to hear from our sponsors, and then we're going to hear from Georgie-Ann, all about the art of getting shit done.
Let's go. Let's go. No, I've planned with her. I'm sorry, but that's the deal.
A little bit closer, a little bit to the left.
Yes, leave your beer, please. Okay.
There we go. 3, 2,
Daddy,
1.
Daddy! Daddy. Where's Mommy? The sun is getting warmer, but when we soar away among the clouds, the sky is just a border. But when we're floating up like helium,
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Thanks for joining us. We're here with Georgie-Ann Getton-McKoy. That's a lot of names.
Yes, it is.
How did we end up with Georgie-Ann Getton-McKoy, The Art of Getting Shit Done?
With the name or the book?
Well, first you have to tell me about the name, and then you're going to tell me all about the book.
So I'm going to wrap this up really quickly. George is my dad's middle name, and Tanette is my mom's middle name, so they're just like, oh, Georgie-Ann.
Okay.
Then, my dad's last name is Getton. That's what I got my last name. Then I got married, and then I added the McKoy. So
okay.
all these
so that's
humans.
how we end up with Georgie-Ann Getton-McKoy.
Yes.
I was like, that's a mouthful. A mouthful of names for a fabulous book, The Art of Getting Shit Done. What possessed you to write this? Because I adore it.
So growing up, the last name Getton, a lot of puns and jokes were associated with that.
Yes, I get
So
that. I get that with Getton. I'm getting things done.
Always. So during my early career years, a colleague would always say, Georgie, you're always getting shit done. I'm just like, yes, thank you. I've heard this one before. And then in 2016, I was doing a lot of different events and programmings for one of my startups called Illicit Mind. And I decided to create a conference called the Get Shit Done Summit because I was getting stuff done and I knew so many other people getting stuff done and I wanted to kind of give exposure to them. And then after the summit, I was just like, I need to share my story about my entrepreneurial journey, my journey from immigrating to the U.S. when I was a young adult, a child, I was 7, and just how my family and I have been resourceful, created value, and just built up our careers and entrepreneurial ventures by just really taking a leap of faith.
Love it.
And so I wanted to share that with others so they could do the same thing.
I loved, there was a section in your book that you really wanted to go to a whole lot of networking meetings with people who are in tech. And in the book, all of these networking meetings, well, for one thing, they cost money.
Yep.
For another thing, most of them had open bars, and you were not even, she wasn't even 21. She was 19 years old, and she wanted to get in. And she didn't have the money, and she wasn't old enough, and she would call up and offer to be a volunteer. And, I'm reading the book, and I'm saying, the volunteer, that's the best place. I mean, not only did you save money, but you were the greeter.
I met everyone.
You met everyone. I said to myself, I go to networking meetings. Why am I paying to go to networking meetings? Georgie-Ann says that I should be a volunteer and then I could be. I thought that's the best thing I ever heard. And you just did it. You said at one point you were at like 100 events in a year. You were just everywhere.
I was everywhere, and people
Free
started
food too.
lots of free food, lots of free swag, a lot of. I met all the influential people, and so they would remember my face and my name.
I need you to rub off on me a little bit more. Wow. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. What other tips do you have for us? That was a biggie. That was a biggie and an eye-opener to me.
Definitely. Another big one is, in previous conversations, Linda and I was just talking about it, kind of going out there before you're ready. So many people think, oh, it's not perfect, it's not good enough.
Yes.
It doesn't look the way I want it to look. It's not supposed to. And I think accepting that it's not supposed to is a big advantage for a lot of people, because once you accept that it's not supposed to, then you're able to push yourself beyond holding yourself back. And we have this idea that if it's not good enough, we can't submit it or we can't put it out in front of the world. But if we wait that long until it's perfect, it's too late.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And if you sit there, I get this a lot with books that I'm publishing. One of my favorite lines in your book was very near the beginning when you said, look, there's going to be typos, there's going to be this, there's going to be that.
Absolutely.
Get over it.
Exactly.
I want to get this book out. It's more important that I get my message out. Now, as a publisher, of course, I don't want typos, but I also don't want to sit on a book for so long. And I'll have authors that I work with that they will be in edits forever. And I'm saying, okay, it's enough already. Just let's go. Thankfully nowadays, the way things are done with print on demand and stuff, we can edit after the fact.
Absolutely.
Just get it out there. And I loved that at the beginning. You were like, just get over it, man. You're going to find mistakes. And I was like, yes, yes. And really, they were not a lot. You have a message. And I love that attitude. That was fabulous.
And if I had held on to the book, I think longer, then I wouldn't have been able to get past my fear with it because I was scared. I was
I'm
nervous.
sure. Okay.
And so, you know, I want, my goal is to one day become a best-selling author, and I
Yeah.
can't do that unless I'm writing and people
You
are
have to
reading
get
my
it out
books.
there.
And
That's
that,
right.
that means getting it out there.
That's
so, you know,
right.
my first book is going to be okay,
Well,
but my next
know-
book is going to be...
And I say that to people too. You know what? Why do you think, you know, people will put so much pressure on themselves about that first book? And I'm like, nobody expects your first book to be golden, really. Like, no one's given a Pulitzer to the first book. You have to keep doing it over and over. Just like if you're learning to play the violin, nobody expects the first time you play it, you're going to be fabulous.
Well, I
Just
talked to
keep doing
somebody
it.
today who said, you know, Stacy Chapman, her first album, total flop. Second album, Third album, she really made it. And then they relaunched everything else, and it was just
Yes.
unbelievable.
Yes.
So just get it
Just
done.
do
Get
it.
it. Do it.
Definitely.
Just do it.
Do it. And you know what's funny is so many people don't, that really, you're leaving them in the dust anyway. You know, like seriously. You know, everyone sits around saying, oh, nobody really knows anything about it. But if you just put your foot out there, well, now you're the expert.
Exactly.
Seriously, because so many people are just sitting back saying, I don't know anything about this. Well, none of us do.
Or someday I'm going to do this. Someday I'm going to do this.
oh, there's a lot of some days.
And when you do it, they go, I was going to do that. Well, why
You
did you?
You know, it's a very funny thing. My daughter is in the Air Force, and she is up to here with so many people walking up to her saying, oh, you know, I was thinking about joining. And she's like, but you didn't. You know, and the same thing comes with a book. There was a survey that says 90% of people polled. They just asked people, what goal do you have in your life? 90% want to write a book. Do you know what percentage do? This percentage. You did it. You know, and you're right. So many people, oh, well, I was thinking about writing a book. Well, let me see it. Let me see it. You know, I love that.
And then people also have this huge expectation, especially in the world of social media, that you have to be good when you start. And I think, again, accepting that you're not going to be good is half of that, getting over that fear. Because
Right.
if you expect that it's not going to be good, then you're okay with learning and making it better.
That's
You're okay.
right.
You're open to making it better.
right.
And as you said, like no one expects like a baby to come out like walking or
Exactly.
talking. It takes time, and you know they're gonna
takes
fall. They're gonna be messy. Their food is gonna be all over their face.
And the same thing goes for everything. And we who are kind of good at certain things need to also be open to people learning, because you know really sometimes older people have a tendency to shut down, like that's not the way you do it. You know, even moms, oh no, don't do it that way. Well, you know what, if you say don't do it that way, you're never going to get help again. Just let people grow into their roles.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that attitude you had throughout the whole book. It was like learning from page to page that you can be open to new experiences. And your recommended books play right into the way you wrote this book. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing now. I know, Bobby, do we have a slide with Georgie-Ann's web address and all those good things so that people can find her? What have you been up to? I know you have a business.
Yes, so I have a few. I recently turned one of my programs into a nonprofit, so that's pretty exciting.
Oh my gosh.
I launched a podcast earlier this year.
Wow.
I'm currently marketing the book, and I started blogging again because after I finished the book, I was like taking a little break from writing. I've been doing much writing, but now I started blogging again. Publishing blogs this past Monday. So
really?
So it's pretty exciting, and now you know I'm like once I hit the ground, I hit the ground running. So
that's fantastic.
there's
And
a bunch in the
podcast.
queue. Yes, the
Are
podcast
you on
is
like
great.
if I go to the podcast app on?
Yeah, on Apple, Spotify, Google, as well as Stitcher. So all
Now,
the main
is this what the
platforms.
podcast is about, or is it about something different?
It ties into it. So the podcast is called Doing the Most, The Misadventures of Entrepreneurship, where I talk to entrepreneurs about their mess ups and like because more so successful
that.
entrepreneurs about the journey, right? Because we always see, oh, this person is making $1 million, they're the CEO, they're in charge, they're famous,
They're so
but
perfect.
what happened along the way, and you get to see it. It wasn't always
It was
nice
a hot
and shiny.
mess.
It was a hot
Straight
mess.
line. It's a-
It was a hot mess.
Exactly. So
And
we
you know what I
highlight
love
that part.
about that is how many times are you with other people and everyone's got to put on their party face, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm doing just great.
Everything's perfect.
Everything's just I love that. It's like no, it's really it's like a shit show in the back end. It's great.
That's what we highlight.
I love that. I
And
love
we have
that.
learning experiences.
You know,
You don't make mistakes. We have
Learning experience.
but if you don't allow
Exactly.
yourself to fail, then you're not going to grow. I mean, Thomas Edison had to make that light bulb 500 times. If he would have stopped at number 25, we'd be sitting here
Or
in the
even
dark.
$4.99. We'd still be in the
$4.99,
dark.
right?
Be in the dark instead of having a show right now. And every time he failed, he said, well, now I know what doesn't work.
Exactly.
I'm closer to the answer because now I know what doesn't work. And that's...
And that is the art of getting shit done. That's it.
That's the
Keep
only-
on trying. You will get it. You'll get better, smarter, faster, stronger. But it's the journey. Because when you're, telling your great grands or your grandchildren about what you did in your life, these are the moments. The moments that, when I was 12, I fell off the bike, and now I'm a award-winning cyclist or best-selling author. These are the moments that you share. Not only the perfect stuff. You share the journey that got you there.
Fantastic. I love every bit of it. All right, I need an autograph because she's going to get shit done and she's going to be famous. So I need an autograph on a book, and we're going to be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Happy to.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Continuing on our theme, we're here with Linda Fostek, who wrote Shit Happens. I have my first question before, what kind of shit is going to happen, is what's the O in Fostek?
That was actually for my maiden name, which was Osiki,
Oh, really? Osiki. I always
Osiki.
wondered, is it
which
Ophelia?
it sounds like Japanese, but it's really Polish. They changed it at Ellis Island when my
Really?
relatives came through.
Oh, see, now I feel like I have a secret. I know what the O is.
There you go.
And it's Shit Happens, creating your plan to survive and thrive when faced with life's personal and natural disasters. I love that. Now, what inspired you to write about that?
Well, this actually was inspired by a project my father undertook now 27 years ago. When he was 70, he saw a lot of his friends losing a spouse, and the one that was left was thrown into total chaos.
Really?
The husband had never run the washing machine, the wife had never written a check, the kids swooped in from all over the country, picked up mom and dad, or dad, and moved them, and 6 months later they were going, what am I doing here? My friends are there, and this wasn't my plan, but nobody knew what they wanted. So my father, the engineer, said he's going to make a solution to that, and he wrote a home operations manual.
A home operations manual.
He came to my house. He's like, "What's that?" It's an espresso machine. How does it work? What does it do? He went through every single
Oh
thing
God,
in
I
the
need
house.
that. I had a plumber
know?
who asked me where the turnoff valve was. I had no idea.
Okay. So, but it was all what to do in any kind of an emergency
love
in the
that.
home, what needed to be done for maintenance, organizing all your documents so that you could find things when you needed them. And unfortunately, it was written like an engineer, and it looked like something an engineer had put together. And it sat there for 23 years because he had no idea what to do with it.
I had no idea that this was.
Yeah,
that
it's
this
kind of
all
an
grew
interesting
out of- I
story.
had
So
no clue.
now, 23 years later, my husband had just been diagnosed with kidney failure, and I went to an event with Laura Langmeyer, who's the millionaire maker, and Kevin Harrington, who was one of the original sharks on Shark Tank.
Okay.
He brought the infomercial to fruition. He actually was the one who brought the Ginsu knives
Oh
to
yes, I remember
TV.
the Ginsu knives.
Okay. He owns the brand as seen on TV, and somebody asked him how he chooses from 20,000 items he gets presented every year, the 20 to 30 that he puts his name on. And his answer was so ridiculously simple, it was like, well, if he saw something that filled a need, he felt compelled to bring it to the marketplace.
Okay.
And I think everybody in the room saw a light bulb go on over my
Right,
head,
right.
and I said, oh, my father's thing, we need that now. We're all dealing with our aging parents, we're facing our own mortality as baby boomers. This is something that needs to be brought into the 21st century and updated. Well, I knew that his project was really big, and I needed to start with someplace. So I said I was going to start with a book. And the book that I started with was this one.
I love it.
And I deliberately chose a title that would shock people and make people stop and look.
Yes.
Because how many books are there when you walk through the bookstore? You need something that's going to make them stop.
Yes.
And colors that were familiar.
Oh yeah. Warning.
No.
Like that kind of.
And so that's where Shit Happens came from. That was the start of my journey in entrepreneurship. 4.5 years ago, I couldn't even spell the word. And now I are one. And it's literally, it's built into an entire business. I just finished a media tour on the west coast of Florida on 5 different TV shows, network TV, not even just like little TV
Right,
shows.
right.
Network
Congrats.
TV. And we were talking about hurricane preparedness and
Yes.
surviving the loss of your spouse. So there was a different
Right,
topics that
right.
they wanted me to talk about. So it was very, very exciting. And so
Now this is morphed into far beyond just the book. There's,
Yeah, I mean,
there's a whole kit now, isn't there?
well, yes, and actually we have a whole home system. I actually am able to put your whole house into a box.
Ooh.
And that evolved with 5 books. My father's book turned into 5 books.
Really?
So, and it's really these books.
Wow, the Crisis Planner
Home system, which is Home Operation Manual and Emergency System. So
Okay.
emergency, of course, we had to make an emergency, and we
Yes, that one's on fire. I see.
Fire,
lightning and
yes.
fire.
Okay.
So this was based on what he originally wrote, and then there's additional books for planning so that you can put all of your information together, and then it comes with a bunch of really cool tools.
Ooh, look
Ooh,
at this.
fancy.
So,
Ooh.
water leak detectors. How many of us have had a waterfall in our attic when our AC drip pan overflowed? I did. That's one that got me. Or, your hot water heater goes, your boiler or your washing machine. You put them under
Right.
there. Labels for your gas and water shut off.
Oh,
like,
yep,
yeah,
see,
there
I
you go.
could use this.
Your circuit breaker labels. A password book.
Oh,
To
okay.
write all your passwords in that you can actually change your passwords.
Right.
A webcam cover. I figure if Mark Zuckerberg has a
Mark
piece of-
Zuckerberg has a Post-it.
he has a masking tape over his webcam. He knows something we don't know.
Yes. I've always had like a little Post-it over mine or something.
Well, this one slides open and closes. It's plastic and it's
Nice.
very nice. And an emergency escape hammer for your
Oh,
car, an
very-
emergency flashlight, a flash drive to put pictures of everything you own,
Love it.
and a set of keys because sometimes the key is the key.
Ooh,
I love that.
Sometimes the key
Is
is
the
the
key.
key.
And then
I
it comes
love
all
that.
together in a watertight box.
Oh, can I see?
So
Look at this. A watertight box because we live on Long Island,
yeah,
so we
as
know all
well.
about
And flooding is a major concern. I think they're
Look at
building an
this.
ark in the Midwest right now.
the Crisis Planner Home System. I love the branding on that.
Thank you.
And
It's watertight, and it comes with a pocket file folder so that you can put
Oh,
important
and they're
information
all, and they're
together.
waterproof as
And
well.
I like the pockets because the things don't
Yes.
fall out of them. as
And you know what
easily.
I love? I love that the pocket
write on them.
folders, you can write on them.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Look at all these files.
Super organized.
And then the rest
And-
of the books.
And more books.
That's the whole series.
That's
It's
the whole
5
series,
books.
okay.
It's the 5 books that you get with the kit.
Oh my gosh. Look
So-
at all of this. You're prepared for anything after
Yeah.
this.
So it really
gorgeous.
is a whole system that is, it's a perfect gift for especially millennials who are buying houses. They have no clue what to do
What
with
a
it.
fabulous idea. Like a bridal shower.
Yeah, or a
Definitely.
home,
New
housewarming.
Even graduation
Right.
gifts.
Realtors can certainly give one to
Oh,
new
I
home
love that for
buyers.
realtors.
I
This is
really do like
great.
that one.
What a great gift for realtors to
Yeah.
give to new homeowners.
Yeah,
Now,
so-
where can we get this?
You can get this at thecrisisplanner.com.
Oh, that's easy.
Very easy.
TheCrisisPlanner.com.
Because my mission is to get you off the worry-go-round.
You are just like so punny today. I love that.
Well, that actually is my tagline. Get off the worry-go-round.
Get off the worry-go-round. Yes, well, if you do all of these things and you have everything in the files, you just have to take one thing.
And,
That's
and
right.
go. Grab
And
and
your
go.
you just tell your family where to find it. And they can find it. They don't need to know what's in it. They just need to know where to go.
Oh my gosh,
You know,
that is
'Cause
fabulous.
when everything is together, when you have a plan,
Right.
you can recover faster from the disaster that you may face. You're going to avoid family conflicts. Ask any funeral director or lawyer about some of the arguments that siblings have. That they never speak to each other again after the event.
Because,
And
yes.
there is
Oh
no
my
parent
gosh.
that would want their children to have that kind of a split.
Oh,
So literally you can avoid that and you can control the chaos, which really, that is the thing that sends people over the edge. I mean, a disaster is enough on its own, but when, like if you had a flood from Sandy and you didn't have your insurance policy numbers and you called the insurance agency and they were like, well, what's your policy number? I don't know. And, well, we'll get around to you. And
Oh,
now
yes.
that just exacerbates your
Right,
whole
right.
stress and everything. They don't even know who I am, you know.
yeah, right. You're right.
that's
how,
really
How
bad.
much better you would feel to make that phone call with the information in front of you.
Yes.
A
And then
lot
there's no
better.
question. And probably the biggest mistake people make is they don't document what they own. They think, oh, I know what I have. And the insurance company is going to say, okay, I'm going to give you $5,000 for the kitchen. I'm going to give you this for the living room. And they may give you a check for $50,000 and you think, oh, I got a good check. And you had $150,000 worth of stuff.
Right.
And 6 months later, you say, "What happened to that thing that I had?" And you didn't remember at the time, and you didn't claim it, and you didn't have any record of it. This allows you to keep a record of all that stuff. So, shit happens, but getting shit done, that's just
That'll
as much
prepare
of
you
a
for it,
tie
yeah.
into this.
Absolutely.
Because people procrastinate on this all the time. They say, "Oh, I'm not going to die." Well, I have news for you. Everybody's going to die. Death and taxes, we can't escape. It's like, you're going to have to plan at some point.
So right. I love that.
Or your plan is no plan. And
That's right.
And the consequences of no plan can be horrific for a family.
yeah.
Like they say, if you fail to plan, you plan
plan
to
to
fail.
That's
fail.
right.
Yeah,
One of
exactly.
my favorite quotes. Well, I love this.
Exactly.
I love this for yourself, but for a gift, I think this is just amazing. If anybody wants to give me one, you feel free. But what you mentioned about brides and realtors, and oh my gosh, this is like better than yet
I just,
another knife block.
Well, and I have my second wholesaler. I have a wholesaler in Florida, and now I have a wholesaler in North Carolina.
Congrats.
Look at you
And
go.
So that is really very exciting because these are people who are going to be marketing this product for me. And I just launched my radio show last night, which is the Linda Fostek Show, Get Off the Worry Go Round on TuneIn Radio and the BBN Global Network. So
Love it, love
so
it. So I love this trajectory from your dad saying, you know, is that an espresso machine? And then we end up with Shit Happens, and then we end up with the full the crisis planner.
Full
All
kit
right.
for one chip.
Well, we're going to get a commercial. You can go to thecrisisplanner.com and check this all out. This is the most practical thing we've had on this show since. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
and it all evolved from a book.
I love that.
Everybody get up when you're feeling down. Everybody get up, turn your life around.
When you trust yourself, you have the power to make up your life. Studio 1031 is an environment where excellence is always expected. We work with all types of people from all walks of life. We give deserving women something that they wouldn't give themselves.
Everybody get up.
Come join this makeup movement. When you're feeling down, turn your life around. Make up your life.
I know it's gonna be alright.
Let's go. Just go. No, I've planned with her. I'm sorry, but that's the deal.
A little bit closer, a little bit to the left.
Yes, leave your beer, please. Okay.
There we go. 3, 2,
Daddy,
One.
Daddy! Daddy. There's Mommy.
Welcome back to Between the Covers. Well, I'm learning a lot about how shit happens here on this and how to protect myself. But we haven't yet had a caller on our trivia question. Bobby, do you mind putting up that slide again because we're trying to give away a free book here if someone could tell us what is a librocularist. Well, my studio audience figured it out. So if you know the answer, please call 516-945-9099. And one other thing I definitely want to mention while you're mulling that over, we were talking about what books we love to read. Well, if you're anything like me, you have a house full of books that you've already read, and you would love to find somebody to read them, because it's nothing like sharing a book with someone else. Well, we are so proud to sponsor the Book Fairies. The Book Fairies collects books right here on Long Island. They collect over 50,000 books per month and distribute them to needy people, schools, organizations all over Long Island and the world. They actually support 50 different libraries over in Africa. They have one day a month that teachers here on Long Island can simply drive up with a van and take as many books as they want. So if you have books at home that you would love to donate, thebookfairies.org are absolutely dying to have those books, and you can get them into the hands of a needy child or a needy reader. So please don't forget thebookfairies.org. If you ever want to come by the show where we film here in Massapequa, Long Island on a Wednesday night, drop off your bags of books. We have a little gift for you from Red Penguin Books. Not to mention, you can get a glass of wine. So you can either contact them yourselves or just bring your books here to the show, and we'll give you a little gift from us and a glass of wine. And thank you so much for supporting the Book Fairies. Now, continuing on, I thought that these two girls here were the only ones to put expletives in their titles. And I would be wrong. We have a bunch of inspirational statements from other books that all are expletive ridden. So Bobby, if we could have our first slide on book quotes to live by. And since I have such inspirational people, I want to hear what you have to say about some of these. Our first one is from The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. When you're not looking, somebody will sneak up and write F you right under your nose. Is that true?
That is definitely true. You have to be paying attention to the things that are going on around you, within you, and sometimes, you know, the person right next to you might be pretending. I know Linda's not pretending, but someone right next to you might be pretending to be your supporter, but they're really waiting for you to fall and like kick you down.
You know
keep
those
you down
people
there.
who act like they're the friend and they're really the foe?
Mm-hmm.
You have to watch. You have to watch. Keep your hand on your purse at all times, ladies. No, it's a problem.
It is.
I hope you didn't know that from experience, Georgie.
A lot of shit happens.
It does.
Yes, it does. Okay, our next quote. Let's see if we can learn something from this one. People who live in glass houses should shut the F up. By Ernest Cline from Ready Player One. Is that true, Linda?
I would say so.
How many people do you know like that?
It's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. You know, it's sort of, you know, don't throw stones, you know, look at yourself.
You know what one of my biggest pet peeves is? And we're all in business. And people who tell you how to run your business and they know nothing about, you know, I have people who come to me constantly and they say, oh, you know, people say that I should be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I say, and I bet all those people are on none of those things.
Or they don't even have a business.
They don't even have a business. You know, there's nothing like having a baby. And who tells you how, you know, you should put a sweater on that baby? Isn't it always someone who doesn't even have a baby?
You know, but they always, a lot of times have a puppy.
And they probably put a sweater on their puppy.
Yeah.
So yes, people who live in glass houses should shut the F. Don't tell me. You know, if you want to be helpful, I am all about.
Mm-hmm.
I love hearing constructive advice, especially from someone who's in the game.
Yes.
But a lot of those people.
And a lot of times the person that is giving you that kind of advice is telling you, why don't you get a real job?
Oh!
How many times have you heard that
Linda,
one?
did you read my Twitter today? Because
I mean, and sometimes those are the people that are the closest to you because they think they're protecting you. That, oh, if you had a
But
real
it
job, you
hurts
wouldn't
so
be
much.
struggling so hard.
Oh my
and it's like,
gosh.
excuse me.
You know, I actually tell those people that working for yourself is the most secure job you can have. How many times do you hear that this company folded and that company folded? You think you have job security? I have job security because I make my job. And I'm going to
Exactly.
make sure that tomorrow I make it again. You know, you can't count on anyone in this world except for yourself.
And what we do as entrepreneurs, it comes from here.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We don't see anything else in our vision except our mission is to serve the level that we're going to serve and the
Right,
people
right.
that we're going to serve, and we are focused, laser focused on that mission. May have a lot of different components on how we do that, but that is something you don't have when you have a JOB.
You're right.
Because it's somebody else's vision and somebody else's mission that you're
I
serving.
like the way she spelled J-O-B like it was a 4-letter word. Meanwhile, I have
It's a
quotes
3-letter
with,
word, but
with
it's-
asterisks in them, and she's spelling J-O-B. I love that. Okay, our next quote, Bobby. Maybe everybody in the whole damn world is scared of each other. From John Steinbeck's Of Mice and Men. The bad word, I even looked at it. I said, what's the bad word in that one? I guess it was damn.
Yeah.
Dan.
I think fear is a lot of our problem in this world.
It is. And I think with fear, what you have to accept is that it's a part of life. And as soon as you accept that it's a part of life, part of the journey, and just say, it's just going to happen, right? It's going to be a
Right.
part of it. It's easier to get over
Well,
it or just
and
Yeah, it's part
accept
of the
it.
the adrenaline that comes up when you have fear, because that triggers an adrenaline response,
Right,
is
right.
the same response that you have when you are triggering excitement. So
Yes.
trade fear for excitement.
That's right. I like that. See, we're learning from you two. I love this. Our next quote from Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. A lot of people lacked that gift, knowing when to F off. I've met those people. I think I had lunch with those people, yes.
And those are the people you have to realize are not serving you in your life anymore.
Yes.
You know, you don't need all that negative energy pouring into you, because after a while that does take a toll on you.
It does. Well, you are the product of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Right.
So you better pick 5 really good people.
I choose happy, I choose gratitude, I choose joy. So
That's
those are
right.
the things that I
And
look
don't
for.
wait for those people to dismiss you. You're allowed to dismiss people.
Oh,
And-
Oh, yeah.
And
I like that.
for a long time, growing up in like a big family, I didn't feel like I was allowed to dismiss
Right.
people. So just knowing that you could say, hey,
Oh.
I'm not going to allow you to disrespect
Boundaries.
me.
Boundaries.
You
I
can
love
stay
it.
over there, I'll be over here.
Love that. Love that. Going back to fear, our next quote from Stephen King is, fear stands for F everything and run. You had no idea that all these famous authors were dropping things into their talk. I mean, I guess sometimes running is a good idea if it's a great white shark, but other times, face it.
Well,
and
it depends on whether you're running away or running
Running
to.
towards
Well, there's
it.
that.
Yes.
There's that.
See, that's the optimist in me. I'm always looking at
Okay,
the
well, that
positive
great
side
white
of
shark-
things.
I saw that one too. I was like,
I
I'm
love
running
that.
towards
Something.
it.
I'm not
Yes.
running-
I love that. Our next quote, I totally agree with here. From Norwegian Wood. Oh, whoops. We're up to, Tina Fey from Bossy Pants. Photoshop is just like makeup. When it's done well, it looks great. And when it's overdone, you look like a crazy asshole.
There you go.
Okay, there's a lot of Photoshop fails out there. But, I think that's a life lesson, too. I think people try to look like something that they're not in their life.
Just show up as yourself.
Be you.
Be true to yourself.
You are the best you that there is. So why
And
try
the
to-
only you.
And the only you. I love that, and I love Tina Fey. So hey,
There you go.
our next slide. You want to fly, you got to give up that shit that weighs you down. From Toni Morrison. That's a biggie. I think there's a lot of things that weigh people down, and they can't fly. You've been flying high.
Well, and I think the thing that people have to realize, and I did an interview earlier today for young girls who are at risk.
Okay.
They are aging out of the foster care system and whatever, and the talk was really about that every day is a gift. What's in the past, none of us can change.
That's true.
What we do with today and going forward, that's what you have control over.
That's right. I love that.
So letting go of that past,
Right.
the shit in your past.
Yeah, and you talked about that too. You had not the greatest of, easiest of childhoods.
And I think we feel that we have to hold on to certain things, or society says if you decide to move on from that or move away from that, that means you're forgetting your roots or your core. And
guilty.
Yeah, the guilt that's behind that. Right. And, you know, I don't want to hold on to trauma if I don't need to, you know what I mean?
Exactly, why should you?
But like, it feels like you have to, like, oh, don't forget where you came from. Oh, don't move up.
But that is part of your story. And it's your story that connects you with people.
Exactly. It doesn't have to. It's a part of you, but it is not you.
It's
Exactly.
not. It doesn't define you, but it's part of your journey.
Right.
And like when you are doing public speaking, or when you're writing, the things that engage the audience the most is when you touch them with some of the most personal events in your life, and they connect with you on a level that says, oh my God, this person is human, and look, they did it, I can do it too.
Exactly.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh God, I knew we'd learn so much. All right, we're going to hear from our sponsors. We'll be right back with our authors. Oh, and I need to get an autograph because someone's going to be famous soon. Linda.
Inspired by aerobic classes and a dream, Body by Tamika has helped hundreds of women reach their fitness goals. One size doesn't fit all, and neither should your fitness experience. Body by Tamika is about creating an environment where women can come together to work out, meet new friends, and get inspired. Whether you desire to lose weight, tone up, or prepare for a mommy makeover, Body by Tamika is here to help. Body by Tamika is considerate to female weight loss challenges resulting from pregnancy and or life changes that can be extremely resistant to diet and exercise. For stubborn problem areas, Body by Tamika offers non-invasive aesthetic procedures such as laser lipo and wood slimming body contouring. Book your free consultation today to see for yourself.
Are you a tie lover? You love the diversity in ties because they come in different colors, fabrics, patterns, etc. Get access to a wide variety of neckties. Buy from or trade with other tie lovers. Don't wear ties anymore? You have more ties than you know what to do with? Want to turn all those ties into real money? Do you just need a tie? You just need a tie for a special occasion. Now you can buy a tie today and sell it tomorrow. The Necktie Exchange, the online retailer where you buy, sell, and trade neckties. Register today.
Dropping gems from Keisha Christian. She's on a mission, sharing information, knowledge for soul, body and mind. Dropping gems, KeishaGems.com. KeishaGems.com.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Between the Covers. Thank you. Linda Fostek, I am so thrilled. Shit happens, and this amazing package here that's going to save a lot of homes and sanity. Some final words from you?
Just because shit happens, you owe it to yourself and your family to make the plans to protect them when the inevitable is going to happen.
Absolutely. You owe it to yourself. So please go to thecrisisplanner.com.
Correct.
And you can find all of this. And Georgie-Ann, I'm so thrilled to have you here. And boy, have you inspired us to get some shit done today.
Yes, absolutely.
Where can we follow you on all of these incredible adventures and blogging and podcasts? If we go to your website, will we find all of that?
Yes, everything is at gsdwithgeorgie.com. You'll find links to the book, the podcast, the blog. Everything is right there on the homepage. And all social media platform, I'm at GSD with Georgie, so everything is the same. You can find me everywhere.
I love branding. That's fantastic. Absolutely. And if you forget everything that you heard today, just go to BetweenTheCoversTV.com. You can watch old shows there, but we also have links to Linda and Georgie's websites and their book links. And if you ever change it, send them to me because we keep those pages live.
Awesome.
So that those links will always be live.
Awesome.
So just visit us at BetweenTheCoversTV.com and you can connect with us, and you too can get some shit done before
shit happens.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.